Just a couple of quick questions. I very much welcome the inclusion of what you've termed as transversal skills into course content. And can I just ask, like, how embedded in it is it? I mean, are all institutions now running modules where critical thinking, and across all, I suppose, disciplines, critical thinking, leadership, communications, because, you know, irrespective of how academic somebody is, they will succeed in life through having those skills at a high level. So how embedded is it?
I'll ask Stephen and Blunt, well, everyone's welcome to comment. Just to go back to the sort of the anecdotal experience of being yesterday at the skills roundtable at TU Dublin, and there was 10 different sectors represented, and everything from the construction trade to energy to agri-food to professional services, and a consistent message was what we really value in our graduates, as well as obviously good sectoral knowledge, is that ability to think outside the box, commercial acumen, leadership, critical thinking,
public sector also would welcome on.
Yeah, and it's, I know myself from 35 years, albeit in a different public sector, that it's something that is crucial in a graduate. It's also crucial that the institution helps grow that capacity. And someone once said, everyone does a second degree. Once you're in a business or an institution, you're doing a further set of continuous learning. But I think it is something, and my colleagues will be able much more expertly to express it, that is recognised and is integrated. And another thing that struck me going to talk to UCC Futures and others is the focus on interdisciplinarity, given that so many of the problems we're facing now require systems level thinking. So it's not just engineering, it's commercial skills, it's digital skills, and that ability to integrate them, which I think is closely allied to the transversal skills point. But I'll ask maybe Stephen and Blunt if they'd like to comment.
Yeah, Deputy, thank you very much for the question. I would say the transversal skills, while we have digital skills modules, we have communication modules in specific disciplines, they are embedded through assessments and through learning outcomes. So students will be exposed to presentations, critiquing, debate across their programmes at multiple stages throughout their degrees as well. We can evidence that through our curriculum enhancement project, our curriculum management system, where we can extract and export the levels of assessments, the types of assessments that students are being exposed to, that foster digital, transversal communication. The micro-credentials have also been an opportunity for people in industry, as Paul in his opening statement said. We've had 20,000 individuals in public and private sector industry employment engage with micro-credentials, and those micro-credentials could be around digital upskilling, they can be around communication, they could be around Gen AI, and they have enabled those individuals to upskill and to...
I suppose just my vision of, from what I read, was if I started BA, or what it was called, or a BCom, or a B engineer, or a B science, or a B medical, that there will be content in that course.
Oh, absolutely.
That will be transferable across all of those disciplines.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you came into our B-Eng, which is a common entry programme, you are, for the first year, you're on a common entry stream, and then you specialise at the end of that year. But you will be exposed to a number of different activities that will be translatable across. But you will also be then doing interdisciplinary learning activities with other disciplines, say from medicine, from health science, trying to generate the solutions for the future. So one example would be around active ageing, where you have health science students on the health professional programs working with engineers to try and critically think and develop solutions for a healthier lifestyle in the future.
Very good. Can I ask about the length of time to complete a graduate programme, or an undergraduate programme, a degree? So, I mean, I would have a firm belief that maybe young people are starting their third level academic career too soon, 17, 18, having to make a decision at that point about maybe, and this kind of stuff will, I suppose, reduce the gravity of that decision being something that they're determining for the rest of their lives. But I would always be encouraging young people to spend as much time as they can in the third level institution, do the degree, maybe do a postgraduate degree. But some parents have said to me, and their motivation is purely cost, that they find that their child is enrolled in a 4-year programme that possibly could be completed over 3 years. And I said that is motivated by cost. They might have to send them to Dublin, to Galway, to Sligo, wherever, paying for accommodation, paying tuition fees. And they feel that, you know, they're only might be there for an hour on a Thursday, an hour on a Friday, mightn't start on Monday till midday. I'd welcome that. I'm delighted that my own child might experience that. But I just wonder, are we extending content across 4 years that could be completed in 3 purely for revenue purposes? Is it unfair to say that?
I would think it is unfair to say that. We have a number of degrees in University College Cork that are 3-year degrees. So our BA, our law degree, can be completed in 3 years. But then if you take your science, your degrees, broad science, they're 4 years. Your medical professional degrees are 5 years. So again, the course content, every student is required to take 60 ECTS credits in a year, and that's how we measure the content at an undergraduate programme. So if that content can be delivered over a 3-year period, say in our BA, that's 180 credits. Similarly with the law degree, they will graduate after 3 years of that. But it's, again, down to the nature of the programme, the intensity of laboratories, or perhaps the student who is coming in on a Monday for an hour, maybe there is directed reading or group work that they're supposed to be undertaking as well, and library study.
I mean, just to add to that, like a number of our degrees, quite a large number in the STEM side and in the business side and the medical health sciences side, are accredited. And that's the accreditation body's requirements of these skills that they have to demonstrate in the labs or in the medical professions or in the business or whatever. So in those ones in particular, we're actually trying to have the student skills as sharp as possible, but it takes those 4 years to develop that. And I don't want to make it worse, but you know, for an engineer, the expectation is now coming 5 years across Europe. The kind of acceptance now across Europe as a trained engineer has a master's if they want to compete with Europe. And in computer science, it's similar. Now, they can still exit on an honours bachelor degree after 4, but if they really want to have to progress further and be able to move across Europe and back again, sometimes those higher skills are required. So it's something which we take very seriously in terms of making use of the students' times within the degrees we have.
Okay. Can I just ask about the HEA review of the funding model? And I just wonder, we see increasingly corporate sponsorship of institutions, corporate sponsorship of specific courses, maybe predominantly postgraduate. Is there any concern that corporate sponsorship could influence the content of the course or the curricular area?
So I guess there's 2 points to it. The first point is around from a funding perspective, often it is out of necessity that we're exploring opportunities, that the systematic underfunding is such that sectorally we have to be a bit more creative around being able to fully recover costs. But we have, the other side is, my strong sense would be no, in terms of concerns around compromise, because our quality assurance systems are so robust that even if we wanted to, we couldn't. I would say that there is our accreditations, our annual reviews, our periodic reviews, the QQI, Quinta reports, all of those checks and balances are built in, that even if we were coming under pressure from an institutional perspective to shape in a particular way, but also the content of what we cover. So if we take, for example, one of our modules in the business school in our digital businesses is called Failure, and it's around exploring where different businesses have failed in different perspectives, what learnings you have from the failures, how you grow and develop things like your critical thinking and that. And those type of modules by design challenge, even in examples where an association or a company who is involved in contributing towards it is exposed, is challenged, and that robustness is there. So I would say our systems are sufficiently robust that it isn't an issue for us.
Very good, yeah. Mochesh Yarnock, cúpla seachtain hin an seo bhí cúpla daoine ar nóisih féin as na hinsa we had a number of guests from different institutions agus bhí an ábhar a phlé agan nach raibh an nóthún cuasanna nó deisna ar fáil do dhaoine a chud staide dhéanamh 3 meán na Gaeilge ag na hinsa 3 level. So there's a lack of opportunity for people to study through Irish at third level institutions, unless they are studying Irish as a curricular subject or más mála bheith na Munster if they want to be a teacher. Can we do something to increase the number of multidisciplinary courses, very disciplinary courses that are available through the Irish language? I see it as an issue of equality. Tá daoine sa tír seo as Gaeilge at Tango Hochas, Irish is their native language, and they're not being afforded the opportunity to study through Irish at third level institutions.
Yeah, there are opportunities to further enhance. We have a number of programs that have Irish, and you're correct in that they tend to be associated with education in primary, secondary education programs. But we also do community outreach work and significant community work for the locality. So my Onid na Gaeilge Laura runs a program, Irish for the Terrified. And again, this is promoting the Irish language and actually working with secondary schools, secondary level schools in disadvantaged areas where we are promoting the Gaeilge, we are promoting the use of the Irish language, but we are going out promoting that to their parents and running classes, Irish for the Terrified, for their parents to support the secondary schools. So we've started in a group of DEIS schools in the Cork City area to promote the use of the Irish language and hopefully then see that progress through. But yes, there is, with the correct funding and the upskilling, there is opportunity to further enhance the provision.
I mean, I would welcome that type of initiative from Fáilte Móra, Rud Mar Sin, ach, mas rud é go Dalta Mehain, if I was a student, I could be mayor Gaeilge again, be mayor Gael school, Mion school Sri Gaeilge, Shin, agus Wallam of a doctor, Wallam of an Indian tour. If I want to be a doctor or an engineer, I can't continue that education through Irish. It seems discriminatory. And, you know, when we've debated this, you know, obviously the institutions will tell us, well, if we got more funding from the HEI, whoever it is, and then the HEI will say, well, the institutions have a degree of independence.
So there are options to continue the Irish language and the use of the Irish language through electives with your programme of study. So if you were to study in medicine, you could then choose. There are electives within our medical degree where you can actually select. We have students, and rightly or wrongly, they might select statistics or they might select Spanish, they might select German, but Irish is there as an option as well as an elective subject, and it's down to the individual students to choose those electives. But as Vinny said earlier on, the external professional bodies in those programs require rigorous curriculum to be set out, and there's a small amount of electives then provided to students.
Thank you. Senator Tully.